And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
Stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
Bill Maher didn't just push back against Whoopi Goldberg. He completely ripped apart her argument piece by piece, and the fallout had everyone talking. Bill Maher has made a habit of challenging woke talking points, and this time his focus landed squarely on Whoopi Goldberg. Let's be honest, many people feel the actress has built quite a reputation for controversial comments over the last few years. So what exactly did Whoopi say that sparked such a fierce reaction? And how did Maher's response leave so many people shocked? Stick around, because we've got the full story. Trust us, this ride gets wilder with every turn.
We have got to get past this endless, unforgiving, zero-tolerance mindset bent on punishing and disappearing anyone caught saying the wrong thing. The right response to speech you don't like is more speech.
Whoopi Goldberg may have stirred up more than she expected, and now she's facing some serious criticism. If you watched our previous video, you probably remember Bill Maher calling out Sunny Hostin for what he believed was twisting his words. Well, it looks like the team from The View wasn't ready to let that moment go. This time, Whoopi Goldberg stepped into the spotlight, seemingly ready to answer back. Some viewers felt Sunny Hostin couldn't handle the pressure from Maher's comments, so now Whoopi appeared ready to take over the fight. And she came in strong, looking ready for a showdown that quickly grabbed attention.
And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them.
Well, if he's right, then why didn't people vote for the former prosecutor who actually had policy plans to help the working class?
It was another familiar moment from Whoopi Goldberg, relying on the same talking points many critics say she often uses. When an argument starts falling apart, some people switch directions and attack something completely different. Bill Maher was making a direct point about black Americans wanting better jobs, a stronger economy, and safer communities. It sounded pretty simple. But then Whoopi shifted the conversation toward voting for a former prosecutor and plans aimed at helping working-class families. Did that really answer what Maher was saying? Most critics didn't think so. The connection seemed weak, and the logic felt hard to follow. It was like throwing darts while blindfolded and hoping one somehow hit the bullseye. Maher noticed it immediately, and he wasn't about to ignore it.
Let's tear down statues of Lincoln and get rid of the police. No, it's not that I've gotten old, it's that your ideas are stupid.
Bill Maher didn't hold back at all. He suggested that Whoopi's argument simply didn't make much sense, something he claimed has become common on The View. Over the years, the show has gained a reputation for controversial opinions and heated debates. But according to critics, Sunny Hostin and Whoopi Goldberg have pushed the drama to even greater levels. Their comments often spark strong reactions from viewers on both sides. Think back to when Charlemagne the God appeared on the show. Many people felt he looked completely stunned by parts of the discussion, almost like he had stepped into a different universe and wasn't sure what was happening around him.
The criticism is valid because, Democrats stand on this moral high ground all the time and, they act so self-righteous. The reality is he didn't have to say anything in regards to, whether or not, his son wanted to be pardoned. He could have said, hey, man, I'm not focused on that right now.
Now, let's talk about the background. President Joe Biden, who frequently spoke about nobody being above the law, later pardoned his son Hunter Biden after legal troubles that drew national attention. That decision immediately triggered criticism from many people. Critics questioned how someone could repeatedly say no one is above the law and then pardon a close family member. To them, the message didn't match the action. They argued that if fairness and accountability matter, then those rules should apply to everyone equally. That was the point Charlemagne appeared to be making. If people truly believe no one is above the law, then the same standards should apply across the board. But Whoopi Goldberg seemed to view the situation differently.
I'm going to stop you for a second.
Uh-oh.
Only because you don't know that it was a lie. We don't know why he changed
You
his
really think he just changed his mind over Thanksgiving weekend all of a
No,
sudden?
I'm going to tell you what I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I think he changed his mind because he got sick of watching everybody else get over.
And there it was, another headline-grabbing comment from Whoopi Goldberg. This time, Whoopi argued that President Biden had not lied when he said nobody was above the law. That statement immediately caught people's attention. Critics pointed to speeches, interviews, recordings, and public appearances where Biden clearly repeated that message. To them, the evidence seemed obvious and impossible to overlook. That's why Whoopi's defense quickly became another major topic of debate across political discussions.
This nation was founded on the principle that there are no kings in America. Each of us is equal before the law. No one is above the law.
Watching Whoopi Goldberg defend that position left many viewers surprised. To critics, it felt like watching someone insist the sky isn't blue while standing outside on a bright sunny day. At this point, some joked that Whoopi's mental gymnastics were worthy of an Olympic competition, although they also joked she might stumble over her own reasoning before reaching the finish line. You could even see the surprise on Charlemagne's face as she continued explaining her point. But she wasn't finished. Whoopi suggested that President Biden may have simply changed his mind because he grew tired of everything happening around him. That explanation appeared to leave Charlemagne completely speechless.
So I'm just going to follow the straight and narrow always, because that's what's expected of Democrats.
But that's their fault. They're the ones that go out.
don't-
They're the ones that go out there and they stand on this moral high ground.
Listen,
they don't have to do that.
According to critics, the biggest problem with the woke crowd is that they only speak out when the person being accused isn't part of their own circle. But when one of their allies gets into trouble, the anger suddenly disappears and turns into excuses or selective memory. Many people believe Whoopi Goldberg and others on The View avoided serious pushback because Charlemagne the God was the guest leading the discussion. But once Bill Maher heard about the exchange, everything changed. Maher stepped in and delivered a sharp response that quickly got people talking. His criticism was direct, relentless, and packed with the kind of humor and sarcasm that has made him famous for years.
You love to speak truth to power, and we always should, but you have completely lost the ability to speak truth to bullshit.
Bill Maher argued that many people who present themselves as defenders of truth and fairness often struggle when their own side faces scrutiny. In this case, critics claimed the double standard was impossible to ignore. They argued that Hunter Biden faced serious accusations, yet because his father occupied the White House, he appeared to receive special treatment. Critics said that if someone from the opposite political side had been involved, there would have been nonstop outrage and demands for accountability. Instead, they felt fairness took a back seat to loyalty. Maher called out what he viewed as clear hypocrisy and questioned how long Americans would continue accepting it. In his view, the issue wasn't only about Hunter Biden. It was about a larger system where powerful people seem to get different treatment than everyone else. For many viewers, Maher's comments felt less like a rant and more like a wake-up call. But according to him, the story became even more interesting when mainstream media entered the picture.
Was it
press?
appropriate to bury the Hunter Biden?
You're talking about the press doing that?
He's saying that's what they did, and that is what they did. They buried the Hunter Biden story before the election because they were like, we can't risk having the election thrown to Trump. We'll tell them after the election.
And we know for a fact that that's what they did?
Of course, you don't
but
follow
I'm
this.
saying
You
you
gotta-
know for a fact that that's what they did. I don't know what they did.
I know, because you only watch MSNBC.
No, that's not true.
Critics have long argued that major media outlets worked hard to minimize coverage of the Hunter Biden story. They believe some organizations focused more on protecting President Biden than fully investigating the allegations. Several news outlets questioned the credibility of the story early on, while opposing voices often struggled to get equal attention. Whoopi Goldberg also appeared skeptical of the accusations during discussions on The View. But Bill Maher wasn't convinced by those defenses. He challenged what he saw as efforts to protect political allies instead of searching for facts. In doing so, he pushed back against arguments he believed were built more on loyalty than truth. and many viewers felt he exposed major contradictions in the process.
Above any matters of politics or what's right or wrong, the one thing I know for sure about America is this: it's run by mean girls. Mean girls in the press and in politics and in life. And when they smell blood in the water, the lust to finish off a vulnerable person will never be denied.
Bill Maher has often argued that some voices on The View, especially Whoopi Goldberg, are less interested in debate and more interested in dismissing opinions they disagree with. Critics say the show sometimes treats political discussions like a battle rather than a conversation. In their view, disagreement is often met with sarcasm, eye rolls, and quick dismissals instead of open discussion. Whoopi, in particular, is frequently accused of brushing aside opposing views as though they aren't worth considering. Maher, however, has never seemed afraid to challenge that approach. He regularly points out what he believes are unfair tactics and calls attention to what he sees as hypocrisy. For viewers who are tired of hearing only one side of an argument, Maher's criticism often feels like a refreshing change from the usual political commentary.
Democrats run for office as if the voters don't live here, as if they don't go to the grocery store and Starbucks and the office, but they do. But a poll last year asked, if America is the greatest country in the world, more blacks and Hispanic Americans agreed with that than the white progressives. It asked if racism is built into our society. White progressives agreed with that at higher levels than black and Hispanic people. It asked if government should increase border security. Same result. Hispanic Americans are less okay with illegal immigration than whitey. And black people can't afford to indulge rich white people's need to endlessly flagellate themselves. They just want prices to go down and good jobs and the police when you call them. Black people, they're just like us.
Bill Maher has also argued that many people on the left need to stop treating Donald Trump's victory like some kind of mystery and start accepting political reality. According to Maher, Trump didn't steal the election, cheat his way into office, or magically appear out of nowhere. He won because millions of Americans supported his message, whether critics liked it or not. Instead of blaming outside forces, racism, or whatever topic happens to be trending online, Maher believes it may be more productive to understand why voters made the choices they did. In a democracy, sometimes the other side wins. That isn't a failure of the system, it's how the system works. Maher argues that if Democrats want stronger results in future elections, they may need to focus more on strategy and less on excuses.
I said there's a coalition of Trump voters, people who really like him. They certainly are those. And then there's people who don't necessarily like him that much, but they still think he's less crazy than stuff that strikes them as aggressively anti-common sense.
Bill Maher has repeatedly pointed out that not everyone who voted for Donald Trump fits the stereotypes often pushed by political commentators. Many voters weren't attending rallies every weekend or treating Trump like a hero. Instead, some simply felt frustrated with what they viewed as increasingly extreme political messaging from the left. Critics argue that issues like transgender athletes in women's sports and controversial positions on international conflicts have pushed moderate voters away. According to this view, many Americans didn't vote for Trump because they loved everything about him. They voted for him because they felt the alternative no longer reflected common sense. Maher's argument is that if Democrats want to reconnect with middle-class voters, they may need to focus less on fringe activist causes and more on issues that affect everyday Americans.
Finally, new rule, stop saying that Whoopi Goldberg getting yanked from The View right after she attacked me on The View is karma. There's no such thing as karma, sorry. Sorry, but life is random. The only word to describe it when a big game hunter gets trampled by an elephant and then eaten by lions is hilarious.
In the end, many viewers felt Bill Maher delivered one of his strongest responses yet. Critics joked that he didn't just hammer the final nail into Whoopi Goldberg's argument. He built the entire case against it from the ground up. Whoopi, often seen as one of the most influential voices on The View, decided to challenge Maher for expressing opinions she disagreed with. But according to supporters, that turned out to be a mistake. Maher's response was classic Bill Maher, sharp, confident, and packed with humor. He highlighted what he saw as the irony of a host from a show that promotes diverse opinions attacking someone simply for having a different one. Maher argued that true tolerance means accepting disagreement, not just agreeing with people who already share your views. He went on to criticize what he sees as an echo chamber, where loyalty matters more than critical thinking and opposing opinions are treated like a problem. For many viewers, watching Maher take apart those arguments was both entertaining and thought-provoking. And with that, we wrap up today's story. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.